What's going on, everyone? We are halfway through this year, 2024, and the market's been playing out kind of interesting. Now, many people wish that the market was going absolutely crazy right now. Ooh, looks like my camera is acting up. Let me see if I can fix this. Challenges of going live. Like everything is acting up today. There we go. All right, still acting a little bit weird. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. Again, what's up, everyone? Halfway through 2024, the market has been going down. Some people are getting scared. They're really worried because Bitcoin has gone down some and people are panicking. All coins have been savaged, except for meme coins. And so you do hear some people say meme coins where all the action is at, and that's where they're investing. And they are freaking crazy. Now, what is really happening? This happens before the blow off top every single time. And it does wipe a lot of people out. Remember that most people don't do well in crypto investment. Now, if you look back at the charts, it's completely puzzling why people don't do well at crypto investment. You can see as you look back at the charts that there were certain periods where things were so cheap. And you would think surely people would be picking up at those prices. And then you see later that the prices go absolutely parabolic and you think surely people were buying at those prices. But funny enough, that's the opposite of what they do in real life. Why? Craziest thing. It's exactly what they do. Welcome, we are live. Yes, I am totally still holding one chain. Game Trove says, hello, Rainmakers. Let's take a look at the charts because people's behavior is absolutely puzzling. So here we have Bitcoin's chart, and I'm just going to get rid of all the drawings. And as you look at the chart, you would think that there was so much opportunity to make money here. How could anybody not absolutely crush it? And that's a fantastic question. How could anybody not crush it? Clearly, everybody was buying here because why wouldn't they be buying when it was cheap? And then selling when it was up here. Well, that's what everyone smart would do, right? But that's not what 95% of the people were doing. Now, why is that? Well, because they don't understand managing their emotions and doing things right. And even when people like me, who have some investment background, try to explain it to them, they just can't do it. Why? I don't know. It's puzzling to me. You want to help people out, and you tell them the right things, but they can't get past what their emotions are. Why? Well, because their emotions are scared. Right now is where the current state is. And as you look at the charts, it's a little bit unclear. This could be a double top. And oh my gosh, prices could come down from here. If you watched our episode that we recorded on Tuesday with Paul, you'll see that we're still in the greater bull trend and that it hit this resistance line specifically. This resistance line, and it has not broken through it. And until it does, it's not concerning. But even if it does, look at the actual behavior that's happening behind the scenes. The US regulators are being pushed to be more crypto friendly because they have been not crypto friendly at all. Gary Gensler is potentially being blamed if Joe Biden loses the election for losing the whole crypto space for the Democrats in this upcoming election. Boy, that's a big deal. I bet you're going to see a lot more crypto bullishness from politicians in the coming months in the US. And that's a good thing. You also have major investment players like BlackRock, pro-Bitcoin, scooping up Bitcoin like crazy, telling their clients to buy Bitcoin like crazy. So all the fundamentals are green lights for Bitcoin. And yet, people are scared. Why? Well, just understand 90% of people don't do well at crypto. Maybe there's a certain percentage of that You can help by helping them see the bigger vision, but not very many of them. Why? They just can't override their emotions. They're just not experienced enough, and they're not going to put in the time and effort and learning in order to be experienced enough. So they're just going to have to miss out on the massive gains. Unfortunately, many of them are going to lose money because though you would think in this historical play that everyone was buying down here and selling up here, the reverse was true. They were all buying up here and selling down here. Yes, I know, that's dumb. That's still exactly what they were doing. Why? They don't understand crypto investment. So a great time to be buying was down here. Now, this is where BlackRock was buying. This is where a lot of very smart investors were buying. Cool. They know how to override their emotions and make smarter long-term decisions. Here, they're scared, especially right here. Now, they started buying right here. I had some friends call me. Oh my gosh, how do I get into crypto? It's amazing. Guess what they're doing now? They're calling me saying, oh my gosh, should I get out of crypto? It's scary. I did prep them when they called me, and I was like, hey, I don't know when it's going to go crazy. You're just waiting till it does, and it could be 4 months from now. It could be 18 months from now. So it's about 3 months later. They're getting scared already. It's not even inside the time frame that I told them that they were going to have to wait. All right. Negan asks, Jay, do you still think the NFT run will come for stuff like NFL All Day and VV? Abso-freaking-lutely. It's going to be gigantic, and most people are going to miss out on it. Cool. Why? People don't buy cheap. Well, I take that back. Most people don't buy cheap. Only 5% of people are strong enough to go against the tide, to go against all the lemmings that love to run off the cliff, not be part of all those lemmings that head towards the cliff and do their own thing. Now, all those people are going to come in when NFL All Day goes crazy or VV collectibles go absolutely crazy, and they'll be running right off the cliff. And you'll try to help them then, but they won't listen then either. They're not listening now. They won't listen then. Why? Because people assume that what has been happening is going to be what continues to happen. And even when I make this argument to them directly, if you saw Omi is my homie Wednesday, I was trying to save someone from himself. He will not be saved from himself. He is making ridiculous, dumb, new person arguments, thinking that somehow this time is different. And he doesn't understand that what he's doing is looking to the left and right and seeing what 90% of people are doing and assuming that those 90% of people must be doing things right. He's emotionally buying into their arguments, and he totally dismisses the counter trading arguments that counter trades against that 90%, which is where all the money is. Will season 1 NBA Top Shots come back? Yes. Will it go to the same highs? I have no idea in the short term. Long term? Yes. Like, will it be this bull run that they go to the same all-time highs? Probably. Probably. They'll gain probably even more traction than they did last time. But, like, who knows? Now, in the long term, I think this idea of digital collectibles and NBA Top Shots becomes a major thing that people all over the world collect them. So in the long term, some of those LeBron James, like, first appearance cards are going to be worth a ridiculous amount. Will they go as high this coming bull run as they did last time? I don't know. They went pretty high. I put $1,100 into NBA Top Shots. It went to $185,000 at the top for just like all the cards I got out of the packs. And I did buy like a LeBron James card for like $57, and it went to like $20,000 or so at the top. Internet is trying to struggle here. Hello? All right. Looks like my stream was like freaking out on me that it went frozen. Getting into the comments, just got to learn to sell, not just buy. Yes, we will be talking a lot about that, and everyone will be saying we're crazy then. Not everyone, but almost everyone will say we're crazy then. Just like a lot of people say we're crazy now. And it's music to my ears, because when you're doing the right thing, most people aren't going to recognize you as doing the right thing. Why? Because 90% of the people literally trade markets wrong. And so if it's 90% of people and you're selling when they're all buying, they're going to be telling you viscerally that you're doing the wrong thing and that you're being stupid. And they're going to look to the left and the right of them, and they're going to see everybody doing the same thing they're doing. So when you're doing the opposite, you're going to be the crazy one until it then happens. And then later they'll say, oh my gosh, how did you know? But at the time, they're going to think you're crazy, just like they think you're crazy to be buying now. All right. Sup, Rainmakers, like, share, and ask a question. I like it. All right. Let's make it rain. Too bad Trump doesn't have an audience tonight. I haven't paid attention to that. I guess there's the debate tonight. What do you mean he doesn't have oh, you mean an audience in the debate? Yeah, they really set that up for, gosh, it's so crazy how biased most news sources are. They're so in the pockets of the establishment, right? And the establishment in the US is mostly run by the Democrat Party, though there's some strong establishment Republicans who are part of that, right? John McCain was a perfect example of that, of a deep establishment Republican who, the media loved him until he went up against a Democrat who they liked more, and then, savaged him. Yeah. These so-called big-time crypto boys following the crowd make me chuckle. I know, right? You start to see it after a while, and you're just like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? How do they not get it? But they don't. Cool. Like, at the end of the day, now there's a lot of big channels, and some of them are really cool. They play to their strengths, and they're just covering news. They don't talk about their crypto investments. They don't pretend to be good at crypto investing. And kudos to them, right? Like Altcoin Daily has a fantastic show that's got good news, and it's Altcoin Daily. They're giving you news. They definitely don't talk about, underpriced coins really so much, and that's not really their strength, and they don't pretend it is. Coin Bureau does a fantastic job of bringing amazing news, and they have huge audiences. But a lot of crypto channels, they talk about the investment side of crypto, but they're just not good at it yet. And maybe they never will be, because, gosh, they have such a big platform. And you do grow a really big platform by talking about things when everybody is excited about them. And everyone gets excited about them after they've been running up a ton. So if my goal was to build the biggest YouTube channel, well, then 2.5 months ago, I would have been doing videos on Solana and why Solana would never stop going up. Right now, I'd be covering meme coins and why meme coins are never going to stop going up. But instead, I'm warning people that meme coins are scary right now, and that there's a bunch of undervalued alts that nobody is searching for that are the really good deals. And that does not draw a huge audience, but it does lead your audience to think like savage investors and have the best returns. And that's the reward I'm looking for. Cool. I don't need YouTube to pay me a lot. I make my money through my investments. Would it be fun if YouTube paid me a lot more? Cool. Yes. I wouldn't say no to extra money. However, I am not willing to do what it would take to grow a huge channel because I would have to savage you. I would have to be bullish on things where it's time to be bearish, and bearish on things when it's time to be bullish. And I just won't do that. Matthew says, Rain, realistic OMI price prediction for end of year and top. So end of year is really hard because like, I don't know when the narrative is going to hit. Let's take a look at OMI and see where the price is. People, I love it when people crap on OMI. They really just don't get it. OMI is an amazing price right now. It is a absolutely historically low, amazing price. And most people don't get it. And that's cool. You know what? Most people aren't right for abnormally high wealth. They wouldn't know what to do with it. They haven't learned the skills to acquire it. If they got it, they would blow through it and they'd have no idea how to get it again because they didn't learn the skills to acquire it the first time. They just got lucky. So it was way up here. It's now way down here. Now we can't see what the remaining chart looks like. But remember that point where we were looking at Bitcoin when Bitcoin was really cheap, and that's not where people were buying. That's where people were selling. That's exactly where we're at OMI right now. Now, the really smart people are buying and buying like crazy. And you may say, well, if they're buying like crazy, why is it the price isn't going up? Well, because there's more people selling. Why? Well, 90% of people trade this wrong. They sell, like they're selling their OMI right now to roll into meme coins. I know some people with a whole lot of OMI that took that exact move, and they're going to find out why that's a really risky move. Now, I wish them all the best. I hope it works out for them. But they took a trade where they had a high probability of future success. They sold at lows to roll into something that had already been running for a month and a half. That is a really risky trade. Now, sometimes really risky trades go really well for you. Sometimes if you have an ace and a 2 and you go all in at that point, sometimes you end up winning, but it is a super risky move. Like maybe a 7 and an 8 and you go all in and none of the other cards have been dealt yet. You can't see anything other than your 7 and 8 and you go all in. Sometimes you'll still win. So in his case, you know, one of my friends, I hope he wins. I don't take that kind of risky trade. I don't sell an amazing long-term project to roll into non-substantive meme coins that have been running for a month, month and a half, hoping that they just continue up from here. That's not my type of trade. Now, it could work out for them. And in their cases, I hope it does. Just the probabilities are way more against them than they're realizing. Am I still staking the Devi token? I'm not staking it. I know I have huge bags of Devi. I could be making some additional by staking it. It's such a pain to stake and unstake and have things locked up. So I didn't end up staking any. I'm just holding on to mine. Justin says that could never be me. Thank you for being real, Rain. Yeah. Some crypto channels will post pictures of their YouTube gains. Like really, yeah. You can make a lot of money with YouTube. When you have, say, 600,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, you're getting 40,000 views per video and you're doing videos daily. You make a pretty good income from that. And sometimes people mistake because they're making a good income from YouTube that they're a good investor. Most people who have big YouTube channels with crypto investment, they don't think the right way about it. They don't do significantly well on their investments. There are a few percentages. I don't know if you caught it yesterday. I joined one of the Illuvium content creators. He covers blockchain gaming. A lot of what he covers is Illuvium. It's not the only thing he covers. His name is Najafe. I like the way this guy thinks. I think he's going to be successful. Now, he's mostly covering blockchain gaming. He's real big on Immutable X right now and also on Ronin. I haven't dug into Ronin really enough to know where Ronin's going and what the future probabilities are. I agree with him that Mutable X is going to do well. I really loved Immutable X when the price was a hell of a lot cheaper. Like, let me share with you. And you all remember, if you saw the videos that I was like, yes, Immutable X down here was amazing. Up here, not as amazing. Now, does it have a good potential still? Yeah, it's pretty good right here. I hope it breaks to the downside from here further, right? The perfect head and shoulders pattern here. Now, maybe it stops and it goes back up here. Gosh, I would really love it if it came back here. But I called it way down here. I said anything under 50 cents is absolutely unbelievable for Immutable X. They have a great future. When it went to 350, I was like, pump the brakes on Immutable X. I'm worried. Now, $1.50 is starting to get juicy again. I mean, that's somewhat an attractive price. Now, do I think people who are buying it here still have potential for 20x? Probably. That's probably about what the potential is. At least my guess on the potential. All right. I went from 2.4 million OMI in the bull run to 51 million leaving the bear run. I'm used to being called crazy. I'll take it all day. Planet Vampire, I love the way you think. I'm telling you, there's so many of our audience members that are making really good decisions that I'm going to love all the success stories that all of you are going to have. Not all of you, because not all of you are making the right decisions, but a bunch of you are. And so it's really going to be fun. Thanks for the real talk. Learned a lot from you over the past 3 years. I blocked out the noise and keep accumulating. I love it. What's so fun for me is I recognize patterns all the time. So I absolutely aced the GMAT when I was thinking of going to grad school. I took the GMAT on one portion of it. I aced it completely. On the math portion, I aced it completely except for one story problem that, gosh, only one of the 3 books that I read to prepare it for even had that storybook problem. And I didn't know how to solve that. So I didn't solve that. Got everything else. Could have gone to Harvard and other things, because what I realized about the GMAT is it's just pattern recognition. And in crypto, patterns in economics and trading, it's all about pattern recognition. And these patterns play out. So the people who think like this, where they're doing fundamental research and identifying the projects with high probabilities to survive and high probabilities that their narrative is one that can catch massive traction in the coming bull run. And then they accumulate when everyone's saying that those projects are dead and everyone's funding on those projects. And then they hold it till those projects go crazy. Like, that pattern is the pattern that everyone I know that is rich from crypto has followed. Like, it's that simple, yet so many people can't do that. And then some people want to argue with me about it. That's cool. Yeah, we'll see where everyone's portfolio is a year from now and how those people that want to argue with me did. And I say it's not very many people that want to argue with me. A lot of people who aren't ready to hear this message just tune out completely. And they go for the big channels that will cover, like, oh my gosh, Solana, let's buy Solana at, $300, rather than maybe taking some profits and, rolling it into something that's down. They want to be buying a whole lot more at new all-time, like new highs, or meme coins that have hit new highs, and they want to double down or triple down or quadruple down. That's just not the play I take. Fias token current thoughts. Thank heavens that the world has not found out about Fias yet. I hope, because I didn't get on the pre-sale. I was not going to buy it pre-sale. I didn't know how it would do. I hoped that it would be disastrous when it came out. Now, do I think it has long-term potential? Oh, yes. This is an undiscovered gem. Now, do I know that it will go absolutely crazy? There's no guarantees. Axie Infinity, I didn't know that it would go crazy. In fact, I was more worried about Axie Infinity than I am about Fias. Now, Axie Infinity happened to survive, did incredibly well. Amazing gains, even though I sold early at 100x. Oh, well. Fias has amazing potential. So then the second question is it still cheap? Oh, it's massively cheap. In fact, let's take a look at it. Now, it recently launched. I don't usually like to buy tokens when they recently launched, unless they absolutely get savaged. And boy, has it gotten savaged. I think the pre-sale price, or their initial offering price, was 8 cents. Okay, so 8 cents and it's trading at 2.5. Oh, hell yes. Love it. Well, where can you get it? Uniswap. Look at these people selling it. What are they doing? This is a buy price. Now, do I know it? No, keep in mind, I am biased towards them. I advise them on their lit pet, their land, how they're doing that, and some other things related to their project, less specific to the Fias token. I was on vacation when they really needed to dial down the economics on the Fias token. So they connected up to a friend of mine and helped him design their tokenomics behind the Fias token. Will Litcraft do well? My guess is yes. Cointelegraph rated them the #2 blockchain game, even though Devio and Litcraft didn't even know that Cointelegraph even knew about them. So it definitely wasn't a paid article. They didn't know Cointelegraph was even aware that they existed. Their retention on players playing is really high. The amount being spent on their marketplace by people playing the game is really high. There's a lot of metrics that are really good. Fias is at exactly a place that undiscovered gems look like. Now, will it all come together? I sure hope so. I have massive exposure to Fias, even though I don't yet have Fias. But at this price, it's extremely attractive. I'll probably pick some up. I have millions and millions of Devi token. And so if Fias does really well, well, then Devi, which is the blockchain that Litcraft runs on, will do extremely well. So I do already have some really big exposure there. All right. What do you think about the Pulse ecosystem? One of my favorite content creators was commenting on their massive liquidity and how rare it is. Pulse, like, let's take a look at Pulse. I'm not sure which ecosystem you're referring to. Pulse X, maybe? Which is, I don't really know how that's going to come together, right? So I did invest in Hex in the early days. And I made really good returns on it and took my profits out on Hex. Do I know that Hex is going to come back? I don't. I did invest a little bit in Pulse X in the pre-sale that I just have sitting there. So I don't know if it will do well. It's a risky play, but I just have a tiny bit of exposure to this. Am I buying more? It's too risky of a play. It's really just kind of like a combination of a meme coin / some utility. Like, yes, there's utility to it. It's not really a meme coin, but like the reason Hex took off was because really just the bandwagon approach like you see on meme coins. What is the actual substance of Hex? Not really a lot of substance. I mean, the tokenomics are actually terrible. The way that, you know, when you stake it, it gets burned and then it gets reminted. But that the origin contract gets a duplicate amount of whatever you get. The tokenomics are actually quite terrible, in my opinion, on Hex. Did it stop it from making massive gains? No, it still did. But probably that's run its course. Like Pulse X is a very risky bet. I'm not doubling down on it. I know some people want to take that risky bet. I just think there's more substantive things that are in line with what I'm interested in than that. I'm not taking that risky bet. All right. Now, a lot of people are kind of worried about the current market and what is going on and is there money being made here? Absolutely there is. All right. So we're in June. Remember, if you watched the show with Paul, where he usually joins us on Wednesday. Sometimes we do it on Tuesday or Thursday if our schedules can't quite coordinate. But a big saying in the trading space that Paul tells you about is that a lot of the traders say sell in May and go away, that summer trading action is usually quite poor. Markets usually go down during that time. There's not usually a significant run until later in the year, maybe September, October, November timeframe. Well, it's playing out exactly in line with that. And since I've been in crypto, the only summer I could remember being really, really hot was 2020. There was a DeFi run in the middle of the summer, which was abnormal. Decentralized finance was a brand new thing, and crypto, well, specifically DeFi crypto, went absolutely crazy then. Nothing else really moved, but DeFi went absolutely crazy. So that is the exception to the rule, but not the general rule. All right. Any other questions? Tomorrow, if you're part of the private Discord, we will be doing our normal Friday Rainmaker chat. Then later tomorrow, about this time, we're going to have a special guest. We're going to be talking about a topic that's interesting. I've been considering how to have this discussion because on my mind, part of what I really think about is how do you help people get to where they want to go? Right. So one of the most important things, particularly as men, that we're focused on is how to grow our wealth, right? Because there's really three things for us to massively get good at in our lives. And one is money. One is like muscle/health. So muscle like is an overgeneralization of it, but money, muscle, and social dynamics. Cool. So a lot of people have this opinion that if they just get lots of money, their life is going to be completely easy. And that's wrong. They also think that if they're super wealthy, that girls are just going to come very easy to them. And they're right and wrong at the same time. Here's why. Our guest that I'm having join us, I've known him for about 6 to 7 months now. Cool guy, really, really popular in Vegas and LA, a lot of big celebrity connections. He deals a lot in the helping men understand social dynamics with women's space and helping men be their very best. And what he said is more money makes you a bigger target for the bad women out there. And he's not wrong. And that's what I want to have him join us tomorrow to talk about, because what I would hate to see is some of our audience members who are single make like $3 million, $5 million and bring the wrong women into their lives, maybe marry the wrong woman. And a year later, they're getting divorced and they have some kind of alimony payment. They lose half their wealth because they didn't realize getting the social dynamics part right. And at first, the girl was completely friendly and so amazing. And once they got married, she just turned into a savage bitch because she always was that. She was just pretending to be something else because you had a huge target on your back because you had all this wealth and she wanted her piece of that. That worries me a little bit because when people go from no wealth to other wealth, that's a problem. There's a secondary problem. Many of you are married and have the life partner you always wanted. When you go from wealth to no wealth, it's hard for your woman to wrap her mind around, because though she's seen you at the computer doing all kinds of things and sharing with her what you're doing, she won't quite understand it or get it. It'll just have happened in her mind. She won't fully understand it because she didn't see you out there doing construction every day on homes and leading a team in a business and every day at the office for 10 hours, 12 hours. That's something they can understand a little bit better. It will change them. And so it's important to have the right frame with your spouse, especially if you're married to that partner that you've always wanted, because they will change a little bit. It will impact them. And if you don't have the right, the right rules, the right boundaries set up on your finances, they won't quite know how to interact with that. Something I did wrong personally. I almost lost my amazing spouse. There was some other drama we had in our life. I got my custody of my kids back, and they had mostly lived with the person that I had the children with, and they came pretty traumatized. And my kids were not very friendly to her kids, and that's really hard for a woman to go through. But secondly, I didn't have right boundaries set up on the finances, and it created a lot of weirdness in our relationship that I was completely taken back by and didn't understand. She literally referred to my money as magic internet money and fake money. and was super derogatory about it, but didn't have any problems spending it. What I realized was it's not really her fault that she didn't know how to frame it. It's my fault for not setting up the proper boundaries. Thanks for bringing up, Rain. I don't know if I'm ever getting married. LOL. I do think in the US, marriage is strongly disincentivized for men, because if you create substantive wealth, what advantage do you have by marrying a woman? You really got to trust that woman. I would say be extremely cautious on whoever you would marry, especially if you're already wealthy. But even if you're not, the laws are set up so that men are not well protected at all. In fact, they're extremely vulnerable. And if you are going to get married, I do believe in, especially if you have already created wealth, in getting a really strong prenup, because otherwise there's this really big incentive. Think about it this way. This is how somebody explained it to me. Imagine you create a net worth that's worth 20 million. And while you're married, really that's your money. So that, like, in order for her to spend that, she has to go to you and say, hey, why don't you fly us to Paris and take me out to a nice dinner and et cetera, right? So she has to ask permission all the time. But if she divorces you, she's going to get half of that, and she can spend it anytime she wants. Puts a strong incentive for her to divorce you. And that's a bad incentive to set up. And what's funny is incentives dictate behavior. And so have the foresight to set up good incentives so that the prenup, what it's going to do is just keep incentives aligned. That as long as she's good to you and she's a great woman in your life, she'll get to continue to have access to that money. But if you guys get divorced, she doesn't get to see that money anymore. Why? You created the money. Why does she get it? Cool. So be good to you, stay in your life, earn your time, and she'll get to benefit from that money for the rest of her life. But be bad to you, file for divorce. Cool. She can go out and make her fortune with someone else and spend their money when she marries them. That's what I think a proper setup looks like. Dating is backward in the States. I'm not sure about other places. In the States, men have taught, frankly, to be pussies, and that happy wife, happy life. It does not work out that way. Women they crave leadership. Women are not incapable of, like, going out, getting high paying jobs. They're not incapable of running corporations and other things. But you know what they want? They want a man who will lead them, and lead them well, not control them, that will lead them. There's a very big difference. And that's who they will be massively attracted to and follow. But United States culture and Canadian culture is even worse, is not teaching men how to be the leaders that women crave. And so the 10% of men who have this part right, whether they have wealth or not, they're the ones getting all the women, even if they're not the best looking men. Wake up, babe. New crypto rain just dropped. What? Yeah, I have not been doing a ton of videos lately. I have had content creator overload. So I just wanted to take a break. Now, the market is boring. The same amazing projects that I love are on sale. They're still on sale. Like Bumper is at unbelievable prices. Omi is at unbelievable prices. You probably saw this, but Bumper just got covered on Coin Bureau. I don't think their YouTube channel has covered them yet. They covered them in an article though, and that's a very big deal. Why? Coin Bureau has a huge audience. Coin Bureau also called DeFi earlier than everyone else and was informing people about DeFi way before everyone else, and probably massively benefited from DeFi before anyone understood what DeFi was all about. So Coin Bureau massively does understand DeFi. And my understanding from Jonathan and the team was when they talked to Coin Bureau that Guy loved what they're doing. And his team members were like, cool, but let's wait to cover this more till things play out and DeFi's back in the narrative, or there was some hurdle that way. So I was surprised to see that the article came out already. So cool. Hopefully there's some coverage in the future because Coin Bureau has a huge audience. And I do really love that channel for good news. It's one of the best out there. All right. So a lot of these things are amazing deals. Devi, I think, is an amazing deal. It's below its initial exchange offering price, which was 40 cents, and it's way below that. It's at, I think, 25 cents, and I think 27 cents is what most pre-sale investors got in at. So it's below pre-sale prices. It's a really good price. Fias, absolutely savaged. Cool. I like cheap prices. Immutable X, not savaged enough yet. Another one that is absolutely savaged, and I'm liking it, is Illuvian. And I have been playing their game a lot, but it's at $66. What the hell is it priced doing at $66? And it's probably going to get cheaper because some people are taking their airdrop tokens. If you claim them right away, you don't get near as many tokens, but a bunch of people are claiming them right away and selling them because they are short-sighted and is dropping the price. And thank heavens for that. I love it. Cool. So market cap is 300 million. Now, keep in mind their price was once almost $2,000. It's now at $70, almost $70, just under. So it's 1/30th of what the price was from the last bull run. Now, will it go to those previous bull run prices? I think so, because I think their game is going to launch and be a pretty big success in the coming blockchain gaming run. And so I think it goes to its previous highs and maybe even far above. Cool. Any other questions? I just want to go live with y'all, have a chat. I'm going to be live tomorrow, but we're talking tomorrow will be a little bit about crypto. It'll be a lot about getting your frame right and just some concerns to be aware of. I just want to help particularly men to understand that if you get your finances right, there's still two other areas of your life to get right. One is your health. I overgeneralize it by muscles. Like the truth is, as men, you know, how we take care of ourselves is noticed by the opposite sex. It's also noticed by men. Now, was I the perfect example of this? Well, I'm a perfect example of I got my money right, and then I started to get my health right. Because if you see my stuff from like 3 years ago, I was 70 pounds heavier. Well, shoot, I go to the gym all the time now. I have my health much better in order than I did before. But I got so heavy because I was working my day job and I was coming home and doing crypto for 8 hours a day, researching. Cool. Then I got my money right. And I was like, I need to get my health in order. Then I realized I need to get my own relationship in order as it fell apart with some new drama that came up. And kind of, it might not have happened had we not gotten my kids and had some stuff to address there. But, you know, life happens and you have trauma to address. And now my kids are doing fantastic. They just needed to restabilize. And so that took some time. Whenever you're meshing families like that to begin with, it's always a hard thing to do. Right, gentlemen, prenup. I absolutely, you know who, if you make $1 million, $10 million, $20 million this bull run, James Sexton is the man to do your prenup. Look up James Sexton. He will help make sure is not going to be the cheapest guy to help you do a prenup. He's going to help you set up a prenup that will probably be worth something. Or like you don't have to get married. Now, I know a lot of you, and I believe very strongly in marriage. I believe very strongly in an amazing life partner. I had a friend who, if funny enough, he had an amazing life partner, or he thought, but he didn't want to get the state involved. So they went down to Mexico and they got married there. And she was just absolutely amazing to him. She was amazing to him. Then they wanted to solidify it and just get married in the United States. So they've been together. They had been together like 7 or 8 years. And then he marries her under U.S. law. And right after that, she goes weird. So then they get divorced. And guess what? She gets half his wealth. Telling you, it's a strong disincentive. You might think you have the best woman in the world. You might even be right. Cool. it is ideal if you have incentives set up correct from the beginning. Now, if you're already married a woman and she joined your bandwagon way before you had any wealth, if you're managing the frame right, she's not going to get weird on you. She saw your potential long before probably you did. She's going to help you get there. But you do have to manage the frame right. She didn't marry you for your money, but don't screw up the relationship because she will leave you. Jeff Bezos is a perfect example. Cool. Chainlink. I haven't checked out Chainlink in a while. Why don't we take a look at Chainlink? One of the clues is there's not 7 million people running around saying Chainlink, Chainlink. That's when I get concerned. So I suspected already it was a good price because almost nobody's talking about it. I'd say it's at a decent price. Now, it's not in a market cap that I'm buying at, but for those looking for blue chips, yeah, Chainlink is a really good one. And it's down from its $21 it recently reached. It pulled back by a third. Not a bad price. Now, it could break further down from here. It's not a bad price. It's not an amazing price, but it's not at a bad price either. Okay, Rain, OMI speculation. Oh, yeah. So what can OMI go to end of year? I got distracted. That happens. What can OMI go to at the end of the year? Hard to pinpoint what it could be at. So OMI, we were looking at the charts. How massively cheap it is. I don't know. I don't know when this narrative runs, but I think OMI goes at least to 2 or 3 cents in the coming bull run, probably 5 cents. Who knows how much more it runs than that? Maybe it goes crazy and goes to $1. I'll be shocked if it goes to $5, but it is a greater than zero chance that it goes to $5. It's not very likely, but it could. Yeah, Bumper article says it's a paid review. I think they paid to have an interaction with them, which is fine. And so maybe the review that finally came out is a paid one. A lot of times big channels like that, I guess, yeah, it's not as ideal as if like Coin Bureau had discovered their project and came to them and like, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing thing. It would be unusual at this point that would happen because Bumper's at such a low market cap. But the snowball has to start somewhere. So like Axie Infinity was paying for reviews back in the day, and they were paying for it in some different ways back when nobody really knew who they were. NBA Top Shots was offering small content creators like 10 packs if they would just do at least a 7 or 10 minute video on NBA Top Shots. And so it had no traction. Nobody knew what NBA Top Shots was. So am I concerned that nobody knows what Bumper is at this point? That's very normal for a lot of the projects I like. And that's when I like to be buying them. I don't want to be buying them when every major channel has been talking about them for a month. It's too late in the game. It is part of the reason I'll never have a super huge channel, because the way for me to have that super huge channel is all these projects that I love, when they go absolutely crazy, to keep talking about them. But when Bumper's token, say it goes to $3 or $4, is that a good buy time or a good, holy cow, I'm going to take a bunch of profits off the table time? It's a great take a bunch of profits off the table. That's not what a lot of people are going to want to be hearing. So if I did do videos on it and that's what I was saying, I would not get massive traction with that video either, because it's not what the majority of people want to hear. But I'm not catering to the majority of people. I'm catering to those that really not just want to learn to be savage crypto investors. Everyone wants to learn, but will actually take the right steps and counter trade the majority of those people. Most people cannot do this. Just like most people are not right to be Navy SEALs. They just don't have the tenacity to go through the hard things, the really hard. You know how boring this crypto winter has been. It has been boring as hell. Everyone has been telling you how dumb you are, and yet you've had the tenacity to stick through it. That's unusual. That's why I refer to the Rainmakers as like the Navy SEALs of crypto, because most people don't have the tenacity to stick through it. And we've lost people along the way. And some people want to argue with me about things. That's funny. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I'm pretty confident in that these principles absolutely work. Cool. All right, gentlemen. It's been fun joining you. It's been 50 minutes already. It absolutely flew by. It's been fun. We will see you tomorrow. Hopefully you're able to catch that. I think many of you are going to have some life-changing gains, which may lead to some wife-changing gains, but boy, better pick well. And there's some social dynamics you want to start thinking about so that you're not just getting a big target on your back by those gold diggers, because gold diggers are real. You start flashing around that you have millions of dollars, and those toxic women, oh, they're going to be so sweet to you until all of a sudden they're not. Thanks, Chad Rain. Appreciate it. All right, guys, you know what this wrap is all about. Enjoy it. We'll see you all soon. Take care.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, shit, right before you could. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always made the time in mind. I take the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I'll sell when it's high, I'll buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. The principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this wrong cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. They go with the hate, let the haters be crafting. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. This game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough. And that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.